What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Post to Post podcast. This week's episode is episode 95. Hope you all had a great American Thanksgiving. With me, as always, my co-host Matt Small. How you doing, buddy?
Yo!
You get to enjoy the holiday?
Got to enjoy it. It was busy, but good. How was yours?
It was good, yeah. Very busy, very good.
Yeah.
Had a good time.
That's
Any
good.
Black Friday shopping?
No.
No, fuck that noise.
No. I think I talked about this last week, and you're just like, no. And Cyber Monday, I'm contemplating.
Yeah. That's probably when I'll get my Christmas stuff done. Make a list this weekend and get it done Monday.
Yeah.
Get out of the way.
Boston traffic today was just packed. Like, especially going to the Rentham outlets here in Massachusetts is like the big one to go to. And I guess the traffic was on the news today. Just like miles and miles and miles of traffic because the exit for it is just one lane. So there's just like the whole left side is just like open, whereas like the one lane is just like an absolute line of cars.
Oh, sick. Unreal.
Like, screw that. Nope, not for me. Nope.
Yeah, I'm good on all that.
Yeah, mess that. But we have way more NHL news and signings and stuff for everyone compared to last week. This week we're full blown and ready to go, and I think we should just jump right into it.
Let's kick it off. We did have a nice trade that kind of caught me by surprise. I don't know about everyone else. The Minnesota Wild have traded a 2025 fifth-round pick to the New York Rangers in exchange for forward Ryan Reeves. Reeves had apparently requested the trade after being healthy scratched in Los Angeles the night prior. He also hasn't put up a single point this season in the 13 games he's played.
Yeah, that was interesting when you sent me that over. I was like, whoa. It happened very quick.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to see New York move away from, the backup of, a tough guy on the ice like that, one of the league's last heavy hitters. And to see the Minnesota Wild buy back into one after moving on from Nick Delorier, correct? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Either they bought in on him or got rid of him. I got to look that one up. But, I just thought it was kind of interesting to see both of these guys
just start to go.
Kind of make a change in the game plan and the structure of their team.
But I guess when you're not helping out point-wise, any-wise, like, you are like a big dude that's supposed to fight or just get in the faces of everyone. But when you're a team like the New York Rangers, who are currently, where are they right now?
Just outside of the playoff standings, 10-7-4 in their division.
I mean, they need the guys to put up the points there, and Reeves is just not doing it. So I think for a team standpoint, it's like maybe it's time to move on from this guy.
In my opinion, I mean, that's not what the guy's there for. If he does put the puck in the net, yeah, that's great and all, but that's not what we're paying you to do. But at the end of the day, you're only going to play the guy 13 games out of the 21 that you have played this season. It's not really worth the money at that point, right? No. So I don't blame him.
Nope.
And the fact that he requested the trade was the biggest part to me.
Yeah, he's just like, I want out. So enjoy Reeves. Enjoy him.
He seemed like he was pretty happy in Minnesota, though.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to be played. He's going to be Ryan Reeves. Good man. I like the pickup, too, from Reeves. I've been liking the Minnesota Wild as of late. I'm just like the guys they've been picking up. They've been looking good. I like them. But let's move on. The Seattle Kraken have waived Magnus Hellberg, but he was quickly claimed off waivers by the Detroit Red Wings, who he played one game for back in 2021. Hellberg has been bouncing around the league in the past 3 seasons with the Red Wings, Kraken, Senators, and now back to Detroit. This poor bastard's only played two games in those 3 seasons, and I don't know. I just kind of want to throw this in there because it's just like what a guy like Magnus Hellberg can do. Like, goalies just getting bounced around, like, you just don't play. And I don't know. I thought he was a good fit in with the Kraken. He didn't really play, but I thought he was good for a Gru and shit. But I guess not.
Yeah, if you don't really play, you can't really prove yourself at all. His NHL debut, he let up 5 goals for the Predators. 2 years later, he made himself back in the lineup, another 6 goals let up for the Rangers. So not a very strong start, but got it going again the season after. 2 games played for the Rangers, let up 1.53. And now, 3 goals, 2 goals in the other 2 games that he's played. Yeah. Let's hope that he finds a team that could actually utilize him and throw him in the lineup. I don't necessarily know if the Detroit Red Wings will be doing that because Ville Husso currently has 3 shutouts leading the league. And Alex Nedeljkovic, I think, is performing okay, decent enough. Like, I'm not starting Magnus Hellberg over either of those 2 guys, but,
he's gonna be third,
maybe down the line. But then again, both of those guys are pretty young, so that seems like a set tandem there.
Yeah, right.
Maybe just some good depth to have in case of injury.
Maybe. And you know him, too, since he was on the organization. It's one of those, you know. But let's move on from Magnus Hellberg to a statistically better goalie. The Carolina Hurricanes have signed Peter Kochetkov to a 4-year deal with $8 million, $2 million AAV. He's played 6 games with the Canes, going 2-1-3 this season with a 2.33 GAA and a .913 save percentage. Actually, today he played against the Boston Bruins and played pretty on his head until the third period there, but he's still a good goalie in my opinion. So good pickup for the Carolina Hurricanes. Hurricanes needed something after the whole I was going to say Mrazek's leaving, but no, they still...
Yeah, Mrazek and Kochetkov are the 2 tandems there. Frederik Andersen, right? What's going on with him right now?
No, Mrazek is for the Chicago Blackhawks right now. And I think it's Freddie Andersen and...
Peter Kochetkov.
Peter Kochetkov, yeah. So, good little tandem there. I think, right? Can you look that up for me?
Mm-hmm.
Why do I feel like Freddie Andersen's out? Like, as I say Freddie Andersen, I'm like, why? There's something in the back of my head saying, nope, you're wrong. Let's find out, buddy. Let's find out together.
Currently on the Carolina Hurricanes. 8 games played this season.
Okay, yeah, he's still there. I don't know why. I keep thinking he's out, but no, he's still there. So Freddie Andersen and Peter Kochetkov. Nice. Good little tandem there. We're going to move on to the Seattle Kraken, though, or back to the Seattle Kraken. They signed forward Shane Wright to the Coachella Valley Firebirds of the AHL. Wright would also finally pick up the first professional goal with the Firebirds this week. So, I don't know. Do whatever you want with that information. Just enjoy.
Yeah, this is what he needs. I mean, I think that, it's finally come to pass that, this is what we're going to do with the guy. They have a game plan for him now, so let's let him grow and develop. We don't need to throw every first overall pick, 4th overall pick, whatever, into the lineup and have him be a star around the league for our team,
Right.
So let him grow and develop a little bit, maybe get the media
out.
spotlight off of him for a few weeks.
Mm-hmm. Right. I think that's exactly what he's going to need, just like a huge, kind of reset. Let him get. I like what you just said too. Let him get away from the media and let him just figure out his game. Maybe we're gonna forget about him in a few months, and then they're just gonna bring him up, oh yeah, that Shane Wright guy, and then here he is, nice and developed, scoring a few goals for the Kraken. That'd be nice. But yeah, that's it. That's all we got for some trades and news there. But I did, however, want to do a Boston Bruins breakdown because the Boston Bruins currently are just flying through the fucking league right now. And it's not just them either. It's the Vegas Golden Knights. It was the New Jersey Devils. These 3 teams are just unbelievable this season. But I did want to talk Boston Bruins because when we did the Atlantic Division breakdown, we talked to Boston Bruins, and both me and Chris both thought they were 4th, 5th place Atlantic Division teams. And holy shit, are they proving us all wrong. So it's just a bit of a breakdown, not too much to go into, but just something. So let's start it off.
Page and a half. It's a pretty big breakdown, I'd say.
Okay, all right. First team in NHL history to start a season with a 12-0 home record after coming back from a 2-goal deficit against the Hurricanes to win 3-2 in OT today, which is what I just talked about. The 1922 Ottawa Senators originally held the title after going 11-0 until losing their 12th home game. They are second in the league in penalty kills with an 84.3%. So far, they've had 83 penalty kills with only 13 goals allowed in those 83 penalty kills. Second in the league in face-off wins with 56.2%. The first is actually the Blackhawks with 56.9%. So very, very close right there. Big news coming out this week with Patrice Bergeron. He hit the 1,000 career NHL point mark with the Bruins. He became the 4th player in Bruins history to hit that mark, joining Ray Bourque, who had 1,506, Johnny Busick with 1,339, and Phil Esposito with 1,012. I love that. It was Marchand who scored, I think, and then jumped right over to Patrice Bergeron and knew he got that 1,000. So it was a great little celebration with the whole team coming off the bench, and big celebration with Patrice Bergeron, who definitely deserves it. Great guy. But let's get on to goalies here. Ullmark, although was injured today and is day-to-day with an upper body injury, currently leads the NHL in save percentage, GAA, and wins with a 2.00 GAA, a 0.935 save percentage, and 13 wins, coming from last season where he finished 7th best in the league in save percentage and GAA with a .917 save percentage and 2.5 GAA. So Linus, however you want to say it, is just like, keep going up, man. Moving on to David Pastrnak. He's second in the league in points with 32, fourth in goals with 14, and tied for 7th in assists with 18. Nick Foligno having a bit of a bounce-back season after a career-low season with just 2 goals and 11 assists last season with 4 goals and 8 assists so far. So it'll be good to see Nick Foligno come up, and this is how a team becomes the way they are. Jim Montgomery, we're going to talk about him, has definitely proved himself to be a good head coach. The first and last NHL team he was a head coach for was the Dallas Stars in 2018-2019, where he went 43-23-0 and lost in the second round of the playoffs. He would then coach half of the 2019-2020 season before COVID would end things, with a 17-11-0 record. He then signed as an assistant coach with the St. Louis Blues for the past 2 seasons. So the past 2 seasons, he was assistant head coach before coming to the Bruins and kind of really spreading his wings right now, really showing what the NHL and all the head coaches what he can do here. Which we're talking about too, if he was going to be a good situation with Bruce Cassidy gone, but apparently he's definitely shown us all up. All 4 lines are contributing to this team, which is key for a team to be this good. Here's the stats for the 3rd and 4th line. So we're going to start with the 4th line here. Nick Foligno, 4 goals and 8 assists. Thomas Nosek, 2 goals and 4 assists. A.J. Greer, 3 goals and 4 assists. On the 3rd line, we're just talking about Taylor Hall on the 3rd line, 6 goals and 7 assists. Charlie Coyle, 6 goals and 3 assists. And Craig Smith with 1 goal and 2 assists, who's currently out with an upper body injury in his day-to-day recently. As of today, the Bruins are number 1 in the league with an 18-3-0 record. Right behind them in second is the Vegas Golden Knights with a 16-4-1 record, and New Jersey Devils in third with a 16-4-0 record. What are your thoughts on this streak? Is this Fire going to go out at the worst time, or are they going to ride this into the postseason?
Yeah, there's no chance that something like this lasts the entire season. It's just too early. Mm-hmm. But I also don't entirely agree with peaking at the wrong time. It's more about, can you peak at the right time, Mm-hmm. There's never a bad time to get these wins and get in early. Like, if you can solidify yourself as one of the top guys and then you fizzle out a little bit towards the middle of the season, like, you're still in that playoff spot and you have a little bit of comfort and wiggle room. So I think that, like, at the end of the day, this is never going to be a bad thing, but this isn't going to last, obviously, There's got to be a certain point where this ends, especially when there's 3 teams in the league that are doing it, right? Mm-hmm. And I think, personally, that this team, the biggest feather in their cap that they have is the depth. Mm-hmm. Bergeron, Krejci, and Coyle are your 1, 2, and 3 centers up the middle. And, I mean, putting Coyle as your 3rd-line center with Taylor Hall, like, Taylor Hall is a guy that could be in the All-Star game. Like, that's how good he has been in the past. Mm-hmm. 4th line, Nick Foligno stepping the game up, definitely huge. And just the skill and overall presence that this team has, especially when you get the power play going. I like that they've split up McAvoy and Lindholm on the top D pairs. Mm-hmm. They have McAvoy, Grzelcyk as the first pair, and Lindholm, Carlo as the second pair. Goaltending out the ass. Like, what else can you say? Mm-hmm. I mean, one point I wanted to chime in on, too, on Ullmark is it's nuts to me that the best goalie in the league is a 2.0 GAA. Like, the scoring is just through the roof. Like, back in the day, the best goalie in the league probably had, like, what? A 1.3, a 1.5, somewhere around there. Yep. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. And that's what we're talking about, where 2.00 is just insane to think about. But this team just in general is just unbelievable. But you brought up the fact that, like, will the Fire go out? And I can think of just like the Florida Panthers the past 2 seasons or last season, and the Calgary Flames, where I don't know if they had like a real downtime throughout the entire season. They might have had a few losses here and there, but I mean, throughout the entire season, they just like rode the wave into the playoffs. And I don't know if the Boston Bruins are still going to be that way by the end of the playoffs, but by the end of the regular season. But I guess we'll see. But one thing I do want to talk about too is David Pastrnak. Watch David Pastrnak. He is just unbelievable. Like, you see Ovechkin, you see I don't want to say Crosby, but you see like some of these guys who are just like they're in their one spot, and that's where they score from. Whereas David Pastrnak, it doesn't matter what part of the offensive ice he's in, he has a chance to score. Like he's got the spot to the right of the post, to the left of the post, to the center, to like the blue dot. Like I've seen him do it. It's just like he's just such like an all around type of scorer, and David Pastrnak has just been unbelievable to watch. And that's saying a lot when you have Brad Marchand, who's just like really fucking stepped up his game from being like the dirty rat player that he is to just like the playmaker that he is, the absolute fighter. If you watch Brad Marchand just making plays, like the hunger for the puck he has is the one phrase that comes to mind where just like there's no giving up. He'll be like two Devils guys on him and he'll fight for that puck, and most of the time he'll get out of there with the puck too. So the hunger with Brad Marchand, David Pastrnak, Patrice Bergeron, I mean the whole first line there is just fucking unbelievable.
Yeah, I really think it comes down to, you have a crafty player in Pastrnak that's, in the likes of, I want to say McDavid, but not to that level, like a Johnny Huberdeau or a Johnny Gaudreau. And then you have that kind of crafty player. You have Marchand, who has like puck retrieval, puck retention out the ass, like just crazy good at that. And then you have a guy like Bergeron that's so defensive minded. He'll be the F3 that's hanging back with the defense and covers and can still set up crazy, assists, wins the faceoffs, crazy. Like it's just such a well-rounded team at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. You have an offensive defenseman in Charlie McAvoy and a stay-at-home and, Hampus Lindholm or vice versa, or however you want to play it. But right. I just think the team is very well-balanced right now. Oh, yeah. And going back to, making it last the whole season, it's really about stretching out the losses and making sure that you don't, start dropping back-to-backs or get to become a streaky team that's hot and cold throughout the season. And I think that, at the end of the day, is what kills teams' regular season chances at a playoff spot.
Oh, yeah. Yep. 100%. So, I think we'll just end that little breakdown there, too, because it's just not enough you could say about the Boston Bruins. We also have, like, a bunch of other stuff we need to talk about, too. But I did want to bring them up. That was the goal here, because I feel like we've kind of pushed that to the side. But I think we definitely picked the right week to do it with Patrice Bergeron's 1,000-point. And them breaking some records there too. So let's move on here. Let's move on. You got the hat going too.
Yeah, the Buffalo Sabres goalie Eric Comrie is going to miss a few weeks with a lower body injury. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen is going to back up Craig Anderson going forward. Comrie so far is a 3.62 GAA and a .887 in 11 games played. Luukkonen has played 2 games this season with a 3.01 GAA and an .898 save percentage.
I feel like that's more of a come up.
Yeah, he's definitely turning it around, I'd say. Luukkonen's been playing really well.
Mm-hmm.
Eric Comrie, though, and Craig Anderson, the tandem at the beginning of the season that was red hot, has started to come crashing back down to earth a bit.
Yeah.
Sabres are 9-11 now. They're on a 2-game win streak, but they're 2-8-0 in their last 10, so that is not very great. Good. So they have dropped 8 straight games, the Buffalo Sabres have. It really was that goaltending tandem that was carrying the weight. Day in, day out, I'm seeing Tage Thompson highlights, though, and Jeff Skinner has stepped his game up tremendously. Those two guys are currently, carrying the weight of the team, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I really got for a Sabres note here.
Yeah, I'm all with you. Like Rasmus Dahlin, Tage Thompson, like they have the guys. I think they just they might be going through like a bad little spurt right now, but they'll figure shit out. It's a
little early for them to figure shit out, I'd say. I think that they are not going to be figuring anything out this season.
For the whole season, I think they'll be better than 2-8 right now. The past 10 games.
They're 9-11 on the season, but they just lost 8 games straight.
Yeah.
I don't know. I see them finishing bottom 2 in this division. 100%.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting take.
I mean, the only other competition is the Sens and the Canadiens, right? The Panthers aren't going to finish bottom 2.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I didn't think about that. Yeah, I guess. Oh, what did I have them as? Now I'm curious.
I do have that in our notes, too. We're going to double back and take a look at our picks because we're officially a quarter of the way through the season. So we'll take a look at the standings and take a look at our picks and see what we're looking at.
Beautiful. All right. So before we get back into that, we have a retirement announcement here. The NHL Vice President of Hockey Operations, Mike Murphy, announces retirement. After the final second of the last game on December 31st, he will officially be retired. Mike signed his first NHL contract at the age of 19 in 1971 with the St. Louis Blues. He would play for the Blues, Rangers, and LA Kings with a career 831 games played and 556 points. He would then coach around multiple teams before being hired as the vice president of hockey operations in 1999. His 53-year service to the game and NHL has not led to a spot in the Hockey Hall of Fame, but in 2016, he was inducted into the Aurora Sports Hall of Fame, which is an organization dedicated to honoring and recognizing athletes from the Aurora, Ontario area. Why did I say area? Area. I'm an idiot. I think I see arena too much, and just like that's how I wanted to say it. But congratulations to Mike Murphy there. 53 years in the NHL, just all around. Can you think of that? Think of like having a job, right? You pick a job at like at the age of 19. You're just like, I'm gonna be here for 53 years.
Yeah, what's that make him, 72? That's a pretty long time. Probably should retire at a certain point.
Long time, buddy. Yeah. Long time.
Good for him though. He's a working man.
Right.
I feel like those athletes have that, that drive to just keep working their whole life,
Yeah. I feel like especially something you love too, like NHL, like it's you are a small percentage of people that can get a job like that, So I guess ride it and enjoy it. So
yeah, another guy that transitioned into the back office work.
Yep, exactly, 100%. So congratulations to Mike Murphy. Definitely well deserved.
We do have an NHL record that's been set this week too. Cal Clutterbuck of the New York Islanders has passed Dustin Brown to become the NHL's all-time hits leader with 3,641 in his career so far. Clutterbuck has played 954 NHL games, which is significantly less than Brown's 1,265 games played. We do have some current active NHLers, Matt Martin, Alex Ovechkin, and Milan Lucic, who are all chasing his title with over 3,000 hits thrown as well.
Damn.
But, I mean, like, which one of these is not like the other, right? Look at Alex Ovechkin being in the mix there. It's crazy, isn't it?
Nuts. Matt Martin, Alex Ovechkin. I mean,
Milan Lucic and Cal Clutterbuck for the top four remaining active players.
Ovi's a wall, though. Ovi's one of those, like, offensive walls that can, like, absolutely dust your ass, He's just like a...
The fact that he has, like, not been out with injury as much as he should be after throwing 3,000 hits.
Right.
It's kind of nuts.
Age, yeah. Not nuts. I thought... I don't know if we talked about this already. Did you... Was it Spittin' Chicklets or someone that was talking about, like, Ovechkin's, like, pregame meal? I don't know if it's the same now, but wasn't it, like, some, like, Subway sandwich with, like, extra
it was like
mayo
an Italian with
and
extra
cheese?
hots, dude. That's disgusting.
I'm like, oh, man. I mean, whatever gets the job done when you're one of the best players in the league.
I feel like he's another guy that would drink soda on the bench, psycho.
I don't know. But, dude, Cal Clutterbuck, 3,604. Like, what do you think that would do on your body just alone? NHL athlete kind of like bodies, and you're crushing them. Like, I can't imagine the pain this dude must go through. He just wakes up, or pain,
and he fights
or just
too.
like
he throws fights.
It's just like it's like when you break your hand and it just comes like even stronger. Like I wonder if that's his like whole body's just a fucking boulder at this point.
Oh yeah.
All right, so moving on. Fastest defenseman Cale Makar reached 200 career points in just 195 games, making him the fastest defenseman to reach that mark. Penguin Sergei Zubov originally held it when he hit the 200-point mark in 207 games. Makar currently has 54 goals and 147 assists in 196 games. This dude is unbelievable. He's really setting the way for like the whole offensive defenseman like new era of like hockey. It's just unbelievable watching him play. And it's crazy to see this stat alone. I can't believe like he's just surpassed like I just can't believe he's like surpassed like the amount of like defensemen in the NHL like this rate. It's kind of crazy to see. I know we keep talking about him left and right, but it's weird to think like he could pass like some kind of like records and shit,
Yeah, offensive defensemen do come at a cost, though. Cale Makar's plus-minus for the season right now is +5, pretty much dead even, considering all the goals that he's putting up throughout the season. The Avalanche do sit second in their division with an 11-6-1 record, so it's working. But, with all the added benefit of the goals, do you think maybe he's a little lackluster to cover staying at home, being on the ice for these goals against, things like that?
That's a good question.
So, I mean, yeah. When you start a team, you definitely build from the back out. And people are saying, get yourself a Cale Makar, get an Adam Fox, get a guy like that. But, at the end of the day, if he's net even, net +5, like, why not just get a stay-at-home defenseman that's going to be
right,
higher plus minus? But
right.
if puck's not going in the net, you're not going to win games, right?
All right. Maybe just
I don't know.
Maybe just like one offensive defenseman, like a team, you know?
Yeah.
Or, yeah, interesting.
Makes me think of like the sport of lacrosse, where it's become so specialized. They have a roster spot in lacrosse now for the face-off guy. The face-off guy will go out and take a face-off and immediately get off the field.
Really?
Yeah, face-off specialist.
Interesting.
And that's like their entire job. Go out, win the face-off, set up the offensive zone, and get the fuck out of there.
Oh, that reminds me of baseball, too. Don't they have, like, specific runners? Like someone...
Yeah, pinch runners. Or designated hitters. Like, they only bat, they don't play the field. So maybe it's a guy that's like, you know, he's our power play defenseman. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, you're taking up a bench spot in a team that... It's a team sport, not an individual sport. So you're going to need every guy to pull their weight with time on ice and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Right. That's interesting to think about. Yeah, I don't know. Kamikaze is just he's just a different breed. Just different breed of guy. But
pardon all the coughs too. I am not feeling too hot tonight, boys. Not great.
Not after that Thanksgiving day?
No. Okay. Not great.
All right. Well, this is your Wade crazy stat. If you want to jump on that, or if you want me to.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay, I got it. Because you're not feeling good over there. All right, so Wade crazy stat of the night. The New Jersey Devils became the first team in NHL history to sweep a Canucks, Flames, and Oilers road trip and a Maple Leafs, Senators, and Canadiens road trip in the same season. The Devils franchise recording tying 13-game win.
I can take that part. I'm sorry. I thought you were just doing the weird, crazy stat.
Nope, sorry. I thought I just keep going.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of nuts that they were the first team to ever do that, right? Like, those 6 teams have been along for how long, and no one's ever won.
No one's done it? Yeah.
I mean, that is a tough road trip when you think about it, though. That's a lot of travel.
Yeah.
But to get 3-3, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like it should have been able to be done.
Yeah, especially with, like, all the teams we have now, like all the offensive teams. I don't know. It's like I guess a weird, crazy stat, or just a surprising stat, to be honest. I remember, I don't know if I sent you this or you sent me this, but I remember, like, having to, like, double read it and be like, wait, did I just read that right? I thought it was, like, I don't know, just a weird stat, but it is interesting that, like, no other team can do it. All right, so look at this. So, like, the Senators, when they weren't that great, the Canadiens, when they weren't that great, Maple Leafs.
Struggling. They were struggling.
They were struggling. Oilers used to be the shittiest team in the league. Flames used to be just okay.
Canucks you're talking about the past? I think you're talking about this season.
Just talking about the past. Like, you know, just like teams that couldn't do it.
I think at a certain point, there was never a point in time where all 6 Canadian teams were garbage. Like, you're never going to...
There used to be 1 or 2 that were, like, really good.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I think it hadn't been done before. And, like, if you think about it, right, the Canucks are really struggling. Senators and Canadiens are kind of struggling.
Mm-hmm.
The Maple Leafs were having some goaltending issues. The Oilers are definitely having goaltending issues.
Oh, yeah.
Calgary's really your main issue, I think.
Yeah, Calgary Flames, right. And that's saying a lot because what are they, 5th, 6th in the division they're in?
Yeah, they are 4th in their division, 9-8-3 on the season, so dead even.
Yeah, so I don't know. But interesting. So, actually, that makes sense because this was the year. This was the year they could do it.
Yeah. But let's stick on the Devils here for a minute. The Devils' franchise record-tying 13-game win streak came to an end the other night when the Devils lost a 2-1 game versus the Toronto Maple Leafs while also having a hat trick of their own goals overturned. Devils fans loved this and began to throw trash onto the ice after the third goal of the night had been disallowed. Eric Holo was out there trying to calm the crowd down. Mitch Marner was dodging full cans of beer. They sent all the Maple Leafs players down the tunnel to clear out for a minute. Everything ended up getting settled down and the game continued, but let's take a look at the 3 goals that were overturned here. So the first goal of the night, goalie interference. I believe the player was Bastian. I think that's how you pronounce it. He was in the crease a little bit. His right skate blade is right up against Matt Murray's left skate as the puck is shot to that side of Matt Murray. He goes to make the save, kind of extends, but kind of doesn't. And they do make skate contact, but it doesn't look like he really kept him from making a save. What do you think?
In slow-mo, it looked bad, but when you see it in, like, real-life play, it just... You would sit there and be like, oh, yeah, it's a good goal. But, like, when they put it in slow-mo, like, above the net, you could see, like, him in the crease, like, with his skate on Matt Murray's skate. That's, like, kind of, like, not letting Murray slide and move left
if he wanted to. But it, like, almost didn't seem like he pushed, right?
Right, no. But I guess in the crease... we talked about the rule, or we read about the rule where in the crease the goalie needs to be free to move wherever he is, and that's exactly where he was. He was in the crease with Matt Murray, and Matt Murray with the skate on skate wasn't able to freely move if needed to be, and he didn't really move though. That shot that came up, he went down straight into the butterfly,
and kind of leaned into trying to make the glove save, but like didn't seem impeded.
Right. So I don't know. It was just kind of for the first, in quotations, goal of the game. It kind of sucked to have it be called back. To make shit even worse is that like the referee reviewed it, came out, and then pointed at the center ice saying good goal, and was like, oh shit, I'm wrong. Never mind, it's a bad goal.
Yeah, so the call on the ice was that it was no goal right away, like they were waving it off immediately. Went and reviewed, and he goes, the call on the ice is confirmed, and then he says good goal, and then he says, oh shit, wait, no, not goal. A good goal, you know? So that kind of rubbed salt in the wounds. That probably pissed the fans off to begin with. And then goal number 2, Matt Murray goes behind the net to play the puck, rims it up the left side boards, doesn't take a look over his right shoulder and starts to skate back towards the crease. Gets bumped by Thomas Tatar. He's basically like spun around, kind of flops like goalies do, which is really annoying to me. And then he's unable to make it back to his crease to make it save. Still gets like a piece of the paddle on the stick. And then they review it and they say that's also no goal. What do you think there?
I didn't like that. Goalie's outside of the crease, full. I mean, he's just in play. Goalies outside of the crease are just in play. If you're going to run into him, that's a different situation. But in the replay from like behind the net view, Matt Murray, Thomas Tatar doesn't run into him. Matt Murray runs into Thomas Tatar, and then he falls. And then as he falls, he gets his stick out and redirects the puck into the net. And even as a goalie, I'm like, that's a goal. Like, it'd be different if Thomas Tatar actually ran him, but just rewatch the replay where it's just like watch Matt Murray lean into Thomas Tatar trying to get back into the net, and then he kind of just flops. And I'm like,
Okay, so going back, the goalie is not fair play when you're outside of the crease. That's the rules. He's not fair play. You can't touch him.
Right. I know. Yeah. Sorry, I just confused everyone.
So if Tatar hits the goalie, then therefore it's goalie interference and it's no goal, right?
I guess
it's kind of set. That's how the rules are.
Yeah, but if you watch the replay, Matt Murray is the one who hit Thomas Tatar. Thomas Tatar is trying to get out of the way.
No, they hit each other.
Yeah, I guess
it was kind of like a car accident where like one person isn't fully at fault, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like they both evenly like split the damages.
Yeah.
I think Murray intentionally doesn't look over his shoulder because he knows the guy's zooming behind the net, and like you know how goalies fucking yard sale everything the second they get touched. You know that kind of pisses me off. But and then the fact that he was still able to kind of almost make a save, like that kind of rubs salt in the wound. I'm like, well, buddy, like if you didn't flop around like that, you probably could have made the save. You know?
Yeah.
But goal number 3, distinctly kicked in. It gets bounced off of both the Leafs defenseman and the Leafs goaltender. Never hits a stick. I mean, that one definitely needs to be called back, but fans just were pissed off at that point. 3 goals, 3 beers. You know, I'm throwing mine. I'm throwing my 4th one. I don't need it. Fuck this game.
Beer. Fuck this game. Yeah. I thought in replay I saw Eric Haula kick. Obviously, Eric Haula kicked the puck. There's massive kicking motion, but I could have swore like there was some angle where I thought it hit his stick too.
Yeah, no, it was so basically he's a lefty. He kicks it with the right to the front of the net.
Yeah,
it hits. He swipes at it with the stick, but doesn't get it. And then the other player that he was passing it over to on the Devils team also tries to get him with the stick.
But
they're looking at the cameras from every angle. Nobody gets it with a stick. It goes off of the Leafs defenseman, off of Matt Murray's toe, and then into the net. And I mean, like that one just kind of made the most sense to me, but just wild. And it kind of sucks to see, you know, a franchise record tying win streak end because of this.
Yeah.
But nothing I don't think is crazy controversial. It's just maybe don't fuck with the goalie, and now these things won't happen. Maybe don't kick the puck in the net. But 35 shots for the Devils in this game over the Leafs 20, and a 2-1 loss to end the streak. Man, it sucks, but all good things come to an end, and I don't think players really, at the end of the day, are like, well, we lost it, we should have won. Like, we're on to the next one, you know?
I don't know. You know what I could think of too is was that Eric Comrie, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen? Remember we talked about who was it? One of his players runs behind him into the net, pushes the net out. Like the whole net is just dislodged, and then the puck still goes past the past the goal line and it's considered a goal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing I didn't understand. Just like how I didn't understand the whole Thomas Tatar situation.
Well, the Thomas Tatar thing is written out easy, in the rule book. Like, that's set, cut and dry, set in stone. This one that we didn't put notes down for, basically, I want to say it was either the defenseman or the opposing team's player goes past the goalie into the net, barreling in, lifts the net off of its pegs. So the net's fully dislodged. The pegs are still there. The player on the other team comes in, takes a chance. It goes off of the goaltender's pad and goes into where the net would be behind the peg, so showing that it would be a goal if the net were there. Mm-hmm. And the refs call it a good goal for that reason, I suppose. But I don't know. We didn't really do any notes on it. So
yeah, no, fuck. I don't know, but that is just a shit way for the New Jersey Devils to not get that win that game especially. On that, I think both the goalies. Vitek Vanacek has been unbelievable for the New Jersey Devils. I think he's played just on his head. Matt Murray's been playing really good for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's had a few weird ones that game especially, but other than that, I think he looked pretty good.
Yeah, considering the Leafs' frustration with their goaltending in the start of the season, I want to say Matt Murray and Samsonov have a 10-3 record. It was like a .91 collective save percentage. I forget the GAA, but it really wasn't all that bad when I looked at the numbers. 10-3, like, what can you really complain about there? But
right.
I mean, who the hell was playing goal for them? Because 12-5, they've really turned the season around. Honestly, 6-1-3 in their last 10.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty good. 12-5-5.
Right.
There was a certain point where they just couldn't get wins, and Matthews took a while to get the monkey off his back of the first goal of the season.
Yep.
Things like that. But Mitch Marner, I'm going to touch on him later on, but.
Okay.
You can move on to other news if you want.
All right, yeah. So I don't know if anyone's seen this on social media, Instagram, or something like that, but we did. There's a video of a Russian player striking a referee with a stick, and it was pretty brutal. So I kind of went down that little rabbit hole. So Moscow Ice Hockey Federation Nikolai Rizin from the Leopards is now indefinitely banned. Rizin was unhappy with the call on the ice by the referee and brutally swung his stick at the referee. The Leopards would have to forfeit the game for the incident. Moscow hockey officials had a meeting and permanently removed Rizin from the league and appealed to the Russian Hockey Federation that he would be prevented from playing in all tournaments. Rizin had already been banned for a similar attack in 2016 where he intentionally slammed a referee's head into the glass and had been playing under a false name since, dude. Can you fucking do that? Can you just be like, yeah, my name's Chris Ronan now? And
gave him the old fighting squirrels treatment in the New England Senior League.
Yep.
When they beat up the scorekeeper and now they play under a different team, but they're still allowed to play men's league. Isn't that nice?
That's fucked up. Yeah, so absolute fucking scumbag that I think the league did a great job of just banning his ass altogether. The fact that there's a video of 2016 of him just slamming the ref's head against the ice, head against the glass, which is already fucking despicable.
I feel like that one's so much worse than slashing him with the stick. Like, he has the ref arm around the shoulder, almost buddy, like they're talking about what happened. Mm-hmm. And then as he gets over to the glass to be ejected out of the game, he literally grabs the ref and smashes his head against the glass. I don't know. It's just fucked up.
Both are just fucking despicable. So I kind of want to bring that up because I don't know if anyone's seen it and didn't really know the situation, but yep, there's a situation.
How about that?
And yep, they've already done it before, that type of shit, But so we're gonna talk about. We were just talking about Toronto Maple Leafs, and you're just like, where did the goalie tandem come from? And we're going to talk about the last year's goalie, Jack Campbell. He's been benched from the Edmonton Oilers here. So Edmonton Oilers, Jack Campbell was benched for the fourth straight game this week. In his past 5 games, he went 1-4, allowing 22 goals in those 5 games, while seeing an average of 30 shots a game. He currently has a 4.26 GAA and a .873 save percentage in 10 games played, which is the worst in league among goalies who have played at least 10 games this season. He started against the Islanders this week, where they lost 3-0, where Campbell led up those 3 goals on 31 shots. Stuart Skinner, the supposed to be backup, has a 2.78 GAA and a .921 save percentage in 10 games played. Oilers are currently 5th in the Pacific and 21st in the league. They're also riddled with injuries. Tyler Benson, Kyla Yamamoto, Evander Kane, Mike Smith, and Oscar Klefbom are all out. Do you think this is a goalie problem or a team problem?
I think it's a Canada problem. If you look at any team in the league, it always comes down to where's our goaltending, where's our defense. Maybe if we didn't spend so much money on the forwards, we'd have money to have a good back end. That's what I think it is. I don't think Jack Campbell's a bad goalie. I think he's in a slump right now, and the only way to get him out is to play him. I mean, you ice a guy, you bench him 4 games in a row. What are you going to do?
Right now,
you're not going to get any better.
Yep, exactly.
But I think at a certain point, it does have to stop. I mean, like you said, they're 10-10-0 to start the season, 3-7 in their last 10, so they've been on a bit of a skid.
Yeah.
They came out of the gates pretty good, I'd say, but Evander Kane being out with injury is tough. Yamamoto too, Klefbom.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's a defense problem. Like, we need more defense as a team, and I'm not singling out the defense core. Like, the goaltenders need to play better.
Right.
The defense in general, coming from forwards, back-checking, just everything in general. It just seems like the classic Canadian conundrum.
Right. Doesn't help that you want the guy that you pay a lot to do it too. This offseason he signed the 5-year, $25 million contract with the Edmonton Oilers. So $5 million a year this season. It's just like you want that $5 million dude like getting in between the pipes and getting shit done, but he's just not.
Yeah.
So it must be frustrating for a team like this.
It is interesting to see them pay a guy like that. I don't know.
It
definitely seemed like a good solution in the offseason, and now you look at the numbers, you're like, well, look at that,
Right, exactly.
I don't know. Hindsight's 20/20.
Okay.
I do have some point streaks to talk about here. Dallas, Jason Robertson is on a 14-game point streak with an assist tonight versus the Winnipeg Jets. Have you been watching any of his game lately?
No, but I was looking at like stats and shit, and Dallas Stars are like up there. So they've been kind of like sneakily rising up the league here.
Yeah, they are first in their division, 12-5-3, ahead of the Avalanche. I just think that Jason Robertson is the new heartbeat of that team, which is nuts because he held out for a contract to start the season. He didn't play in training camp, and now he's like, the face of the organization right now with Jamie Benn and Tyler Seguin still kind of taking the back burner kind of role.
Right.
Jamie Benn is definitely getting in the mix, though. You saw him get dropped by, I believe, Josh Manson this week. Got clocked to the dome. He's not scared to step up. He's a big boy, but just to see him get dropped like that was kind of nuts. Moving over to Toronto again. Mitch Marner is on pace to have a career year while also currently riding a 15-game point streak. Marner opened the scoring today, which is Friday the 26th, just so you listeners know, Black Friday. He opens the scoring today for the Maple Leafs as they beat the Wild 4-3 earlier this afternoon. It definitely isn't all good news in Toronto, though, as they've placed their defenseman Morgan Riley on LTIR with a knee injury. The Leafs are now without their 3 top-paid defensemen due to injury, including Jake Muzzin and TJ Brody.
Not good.
Yeah, their starting 6 does not seem too great there.
Not good. What did I say? First in league? Is that what I said?
For
the Atlantic? Or, no, what did I say in the division? Did I say division or just like the league just in general? Remember when we were doing the breakdowns?
Picks?
Yeah.
We're going to do our picks later on.
Okay.
We'll double back to that. But
okay.
Yes, you do think the Leafs are going to be very good.
There's still time, baby. There's still time.
Right next door in Montreal, although the season isn't going too well, the kids are all right over there. Cole Caulfield ties the game with 1.9 seconds left against the Flyers, and Nick Suzuki buries an absolute beauty of a shootout winner. It was nuts. Then, in his return to Chicago, Kirby Dach scores the shootout winner and gave the crowd the "I can't hear you" Sally, which was nuts. I didn't think there was ill will between Dach and Chicago, but there's definitely going to be now, man. That was nuts.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. This team, Canadiens team, is
gives you something to care about,
Right, exactly.
Even with the team that's not doing that great. 11-9-1 though, they got a winning record. They're 5th in their division.
Yep.
Definitely something to tune into.
That's way better than they have been.
Yep, for
Give
sure.
you that much. But yeah, dude, they got the team. They got the guys going. Gold Caulfield is finally back in action. I think I talked about him when the Canadiens breakdown where he didn't really do too well last season, and they needed the Gold Caulfield back. But it's good to have him, Nick Suzuki, get shit done. Kirby Dach, I think he's been a good addition for the Montreal Canadiens. Although, yeah, you're right. I didn't think there was any ill will with the Blackhawks, especially the Blackhawks now are trying to get rid of guys left and right. I think Jonathan Toews, there's already talks about him trying to get out, looking into different teams and shit. And I don't know. You would think a team like Chicago Blackhawks currently, there's just no ill will. Just no, I moved on. But I don't know.
Really just rubbing salt in the wound, I guess.
I guess so. Big little fuck you, I'm out of here. I don't know. But there's got to be something. I'm sure this shit just like behind the scenes, but who cares? Kirby Dach is getting the time he wants in Montreal, and he's having a blast. That's all we care about.
Over in Pittsburgh, Evgeny Malkin played in his 1,000th NHL game. They're on a 5-game win streak right now. The entire team came out in Malkin jerseys and imitated his warm-up routine, dropping down, stretching across the ice as a team. It was pretty hilarious. Malkin's son even read the pregame lineup. And Malkin would go on to score this game, and in his 1,001st NHL game, he scored an amazing shootout goal to win the game and celebrates by doing the Jack Hughes throwing his stick into the crowd, which is hilarious, too.
And missed.
He missed the first one, yeah. I think he hit the netting or something.
Yep.
Some guy was like, oh, I could have sold that. He didn't get it.
Scumbag. Yeah, dude, I would have kept that.
Yeah, Malkin's been sick this season. The Penguins are just, not overperforming, but not underperforming either. Like, I think they're right where they need to be, third in their division. Everyone around them is a little weird. They got the Devils, the Islanders ahead of them, and the Hurricanes right behind them. Like, where are the Capitals and the Rangers, right? Like,
right.
I don't know. But I think they're where they need to be, at the very least.
If you want to do everyone a favor, or do yourselves a favor, go on YouTube and just literally look up Evgeny Malkin funny moments, and he is hysterical. He might be one of the funniest guys just in the NHL. Yeah. There's like a random clip I watched this week of I think it's an old clip. It's Crosby, a few other guys, and Malkin on the bench during practice. And Crosby kind of just looks over and he goes, hey, it's like, hey, Gino, what? How do you say 3-on-2 in Russian? And he just sits there and goes, 3-on-2. just talking shit. I think at one point, it was like Team Canada, Team Russia. This is a couple of years ago, I guess, for the Olympics. But he was like giving Crosby shit that he gets the C for Canada. He goes, "Where's my fucking C for Russia?" And it's just great that he just gets in the skins of the rest of the guys on the Penguins. Because who was it? It was this is like HBO 24/7 when they were doing the Winter Classic. I can't remember his name for the life of me, but they show him from the back. He comes into the room and he's saying hi to everyone. He goes, "Hey, what's going on, boys? Hey, hey, hey!" And then all of a sudden you hear, "Fuck you, Gino," and he just keeps walking. So it's cool that he gets in the skin of people. I think he's just a great guy. I think it'd be fun as shit to play with him. But I think kind of went down a fucking tangent with that.
Oh, yeah, that's all right.
It's all right.
One thing I want to touch on before we move on to, this is surprising to me. Seattle Kraken 8-1-1 in their last 10. Isn't that nuts?
Yeah.
I never would have guessed that. They have won 4 games straight. They're 12-5-3, really showing the league what's up. Second in their division right now behind the Knights.
Wow.
Nuts. But we do have some trophy tracking to cover here. 14 NHL writers have gotten together to cast early votes on who they think should win a couple of the NHL's biggest awards. For the Jack Adams Trophy, they voted for Lindy Ruff with 61 points, Jim Montgomery with 60 points, Bruce Cassidy with 44, and Pete DeBoer with 18 as the top 4 to win the award for the best head coach.
That's crazy. All 4 of the big teams right now. It does surprise that Jim Montgomery is first. That means Lindy Ruff is really showing him something a lot better than what the Bruins,
Yeah, Lindy Ruff ahead of Jim Montgomery, you're saying? Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. But, you got the Devils, Lindy Ruff. You got the Bruins, Jim Montgomery.
I just think the Devils team is much more surprising to see doing what they're doing than the Bruins, even though the Bruins is just as impressive. It's just the core that they have with the Devils, the new goaltending tandem, it's just crazy.
We talked about the Devils, too. Did they get rid of the whole tandem, too, in the offseason? Yeah, that's right.
And Bruce Cassidy being up there, too, says something about him, taking a team that missed playoffs last year and was kind of looking like they were on the downswing, especially back office-wise, and just really ripping it around. Peter DeBoer, no knock to him, only getting 18 points compared to the other guys, but what he's done for each individual team that he's gone to, the Sharks, the Knights, the Stars, every team he goes to, he kind of sets them up for future success.
Yep.
Ends up leaving, getting fired, etc. And the team the next season is 10 times better. I think he's more of a consultant than a coach and shows teams which way they should trend. That's the way I kind of look at his coaching style.
Interesting.
And then for the Calder Trophy, the writers voted for Logan Thompson, 62 points, Matty Beniers, 52 points, and Shane Pinto with 35 as the top 3 to win the award for best rookie.
We've been talking about Shane Pinto. It is interesting to see him down with 35 points, but Matty Beniers is leading rookies in points.
I believe it's assists and points, yeah.
And shit.
And Shane Pinto is potentially leading in goals. I'm not 100% on that. Might be behind another guy. But he's doing well for himself too.
Yeah.
Logan Thompson, though, I think that's the real story here. Vegas Golden Knights goaltender, not much higher pressure than the starting position for a team as a rookie.
Marc-Andre
And he's
Fleury gone.
just taking it under his wing.
Yep.
Aiden Hill backing him up.
Aiden Hill backing him up. Robin Leonard's out for the season, and it was what's his name? Who was the tandem? Wasn't it Logan Thompson and who's from the Winnipeg Jets there? Oh, Lauren Persois at the time. And here comes Logan Thompson just kind of out of nowhere. Be like, nope, I'm the fucking starter for this team. And holy shit, is he getting it done? It's crazy to see a goalie really up there, like almost pretty much number one for the Calder Trophy. That's cool.
Yeah, we talked about it. I think we said this would be the only real opportunity for the last 5-6 years for a goalie to have a chance to win it, I thought. But yeah, I kind of thought Juraj Slafkovsky would have been up in the running a bit more, but he's kind of trended downward a little bit over the last few weeks.
Yeah. Manny Beniers is looking real good. We were just talking about the Shane Wright and Matty Beniers situation, but didn't really work out too well. But if Shane Wright did come out, I mean, Seattle Kraken's doing fucking fantastic this season. But if Shane Wright did come out as a player that we all thought he was and was ready for the NHL, can you imagine that line with Shane Wright and Matty Beniers? Good God, we'd be talking about them more than the Bruins right now.
All right. Are you ready to take a look at our picks and compare them to the standings right now?
Yeah, let's do it.
So the standings for the Pacific Division right now, we're just going to do the top four and look at it as if there's not a 5-3 divide for the playoffs. We got the Vegas Golden Knights, Seattle Kraken, the LA Kings, and the Calgary Flames looking like they're going to be in. So I have Calgary in, LA in, and that's it for my top four. You have Vegas and Calgary in, so we're both 2 for 2 there. The teams that we have in that are out are currently Edmonton. For both of us, I have Vancouver, and you have San Jose. And I think I might have went with a 5-3 split here, with Vancouver being fourth.
Yeah.
Moving over to the Central Division here, top 4 teams in the Central currently are the Dallas Stars, the Colorado Avalanche, the Winnipeg Jets, and the St. Louis Blues. So I have Colorado, St. Louis, and Dallas, so I have 3. Minnesota is not currently in. You have Colorado, Minnesota, and then you have Nashville and Winnipeg, who are both currently out.
Wow.
Oh, no, you have Winnipeg. I'm sorry. Winnipeg is in. Excuse me. So we're both 3 for 4 there. Moving over to the Atlantic. It's currently Bruins, Maple Leafs, Red Wings, and Lightning. We have Lightning, Maple Leafs, and Bruins for me. Lightning, Maple Leafs, and Bruins for you. The 2 teams that we have in that are not in are Buffalo and Florida. And then, so we're 3 for 4 there right now. Moving over to the Metro, the top 4 are New Jersey, New York Islanders, Penguins, and Hurricanes. I have Carolina, the Islanders, and Pittsburgh. So I have 3 there. You have the Hurricanes, the Hurricanes, Pittsburgh. Oh, that's it, because you have the Rangers and Blue Jackets who are both out. So 2 for 4 there.
Oof.
So yeah, we're not doing too bad.
No.
Over 500 for both of us as a league total.
Doing better than we thought.
Yep. Maple Leafs are happily surprising Matt, I would say.
Oh my God, yeah. Very, very surprising in a good way.
Yeah.
That's
Red Wings being third in that division is kind of nuts too. 10-5-4, plugging up the third spot.
Yep.
Ahead of Tampa Bay, 11-7-1.
Toronto's gonna make that chum back, baby. Telling you. Chum back. We're gonna be having this conversation, buddy. We're gonna be having this conversation. But the last thing we do want to talk about is sad news. We're going to end this with sad news. It was actually Toronto Maple Leafs actually had him on this week. But we had a legend loss this week. Bjorn Salming passed away this week at the age of 71.
Borje
Salming. Why did I say Borje? Borje Salming passed away at the age of 71. Salming was diagnosed with ALS earlier this year. There was unfortunately no cure for ALS, but there is treatment to help slow the progression. For the people who know of ALS but don't know what the disease is, ALS is progressive nervous system disease that leads to paralysis, the inability to swallow, respiratory failure, and eventually death, usually in 2 to 5 years from the onset of symptoms. Salming was getting treatment back home in Sweden, where he was with more than 800 patients also battling the terrible disease. Salming played pretty much his entire career with the Toronto Maple Leafs in 1973 to 1989. His last NHL season would be with the Detroit Red Wings in 1989 to 1990. The Toronto Maple Leafs retired his number 21 in 2016. In 1996, in his first year of eligibility, Salming became the first European-born player to be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame. His accomplishments go on and on, but what we most notably known was for eradicating the reputation that Swedish-born players were too soft to play in the NHL and led the way for Swedish and many European-born players to be welcomed into the NHL. So rest in peace to a leg.
But yeah, Borje Salming, he was definitely a big legend back then. I don't know too much about him. I didn't follow the league that closely back then because I was 3. But he, from what I hear, paved the way for Swedish NHLers to, get a start. The rumors were that Swedish players were soft, and this guy was just a fucking hero, just eating pucks, eating fists. Don't care. I'll kick your ass. But yeah, rest in peace to a real one. ALS is a terrible, terrible disease. You want his actual stats: 150 goals for in his career, 637 assists, 1,300 penalty minutes. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, his career high was 19 goals. He played, the crazy part to me is playing 15 years for one organization. Like, that's fucking crazy.
That's nuts.
Went on to play in the Swedish league for a couple of years after the NHL too, which is kind of cool.
I think 3 or 4 years after
100
that
PIMs
too.
in one year, and you don't see a lot of penalties over there.
No.
Maybe back then. Might have been different, but. All right. We dedicating this shot to him?
Yep.
All right.
And the
Smirnoff
butchered stats.
Berry Lemon. No, you just hyped him up, dude. Guy was sick. He scored mad goals.
Mad goals. Oh, man. Oh, you know what that tastes like?
It masks the burn pretty well. Like, you're like, ugh, the sour's in, like, all the way down your throat, but it doesn't burn too bad.
No. What does it taste like? What are those... like the freeze pops or whatever that you put in, like, the fridge?
Yeah.
That's exactly what it tastes like. So this was Smirnoff Berry Lemon. The lemon really fucking gets you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, holy shit.
Sour.
Yeah, right? I'm just fucking tasting that now. But, yep, so that is our episode this week. Thank you for dealing with our last week's episode. We went to not a lot of information last week.
Not a lot of prep work done.
Not a lot of prep work. That was a very casual episode leading into it, but I was coming off a fucking busy-ass week, and apologize for that. But
Busy-ass week being on vacation, you fuck.
I had a lot of shit going on, buddy. But this week, we're back at it, and we should be good to go. So,
all right. If any of you guys need something for the holidays, check out posttopostpod.com. Buy some merch. Buy someone you like, a stocking stuffer. Give them a sticker. We'll put something up there for a gag gift if you want. Buy something for the guy you hate at work. Buy him post something.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for listening. If there's anything you want to see us cover next episode, let us know. Our links are in the description, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye, guys.
Peace.